When people dream of starting fresh in a new country, two names usually top the list: Canada and Europe. Both have global reputations as dream destinations, but the kind of life they offer couldn't be more different. On one side, you have Canada, a country of vast wilderness, polite people, and cities like Toronto and Vancouver that are as diverse as they are modern. It's a place celebrated for its safety, its welcoming attitude toward immigrants, and the promise of building a new life from scratch. Canada is often described as the land of opportunity, especially for those who want stability and security. On the other side, you have Europe, not one country, but an entire continent, packed with centuries of history, breathtaking architecture, and cultural diversity that changes every time you cross a border. Here, healthcare is often more affordable, education is accessible, and travel between countries is as easy as hopping on a train. Europe offers not just jobs, but a lifestyle, rich in tradition, art, food, and connections. So, which is truly better? Is it Canada, with its modern cities and immigrant-friendly policies? Or is it Europe, with its lifestyle advantages, affordable healthcare, and endless travel opportunities? And more importantly, which place actually delivers a better quality of life when it comes to work, family, cost of living, and happiness? In this video, we'll break it all down. The cost of living crisis, job opportunities, healthcare, education, weather, lifestyle, family life, and even the downsides that no one talks about. By the end, you'll have a clearer picture of which destination might be the better choice, not in theory, but in reality. So, let's dive into the ultimate showdown. Canada versus Europe. Cost of living. Let's start with one of the biggest factors that shapes everyday life: the cost of living. In Canada, housing has become one of the hottest topics in recent years. Cities like Toronto and Vancouver are now ranked among the most expensive in the world, with average home prices well over $1 million, and rent that can swallow half of a paycheck. Even smaller cities aren't immune, as demand far outpaces supply. For many immigrants, buying a home, the traditional marker of stability, feels like a distant dream. Add in rising grocery prices, utilities, and gas costs, and the reality sets in. Living comfortably in Canada often requires two incomes and careful budgeting. Europe, on the other hand, is a mixed bag. Yes, major capitals like London, Paris, or Zurich can be just as expensive, if not more expensive than Canadian cities. But the difference is Europe's spectrum of affordability. While the West and North tend to be pricey, countries in Eastern and Southern Europe, such as Portugal, Greece, Poland, or Hungary, offer much lower housing costs, cheaper groceries, and affordable daily expenses. This diversity means you can choose between a high-powered city life in Berlin or a slower, budget-friendly lifestyle in Lisbon, depending on your priorities. Transportation is another big cost divider. In Canada, cities are spread out and largely car-dependent. That means paying for gas, insurance, and maintenance becomes unavoidable. In Europe, however, most cities have excellent public transportation systems. From the metro in Paris to high-speed trains connecting countries, people often get by without ever owning a car, which dramatically reduces living costs. The symbolism here is simple. Affordability dictates how comfortable your life feels. In Canada, you might earn more but spend more, especially on housing. In Europe, depending on where you settle, you could stretch your money further, while enjoying a richer lifestyle outside of work, job opportunities, and economy. Now, let's talk about careers and the economy. In Canada, the job market is generally strong, particularly in fields like healthcare, technology, and skilled trades. The country actively recruits nurses, IT professionals, and construction workers to fill shortages. For immigrants, however, one of the biggest frustrations is the infamous Canadian experience requirement. Many newcomers arrive highly qualified: doctors, engineers, accountants, only to discover their foreign credentials aren't recognized right away. This forces many into survival jobs, working in retail, food service, or even driving taxis, just to get by while requalifying. Europe, by contrast, is incredibly diverse in its economic opportunities. Countries like Germany are economic powerhouses, offering strong demand in engineering, manufacturing, and tech. Scandinavian nations are known for high wages, though matched with high taxes. Meanwhile, Southern Europe, places like Italy, Spain, or Greece, struggle with high youth unemployment and fewer opportunities. But they balance this with a slower lifestyle and better work-life balance. And that's a key distinction. In Canada, the culture often revolves around the hustle. People work long hours, sometimes juggling multiple jobs, and vacation days are limited compared to European standards. In Europe, shorter work weeks and longer paid holidays are the norm. Some countries guarantee 4 to 6 weeks of vacation annually, making it easier to prioritize family and leisure. So here's the big question. Do you value higher salaries, even if it means more stress and fewer days off? Or would you trade some financial gain for more time to actually live your life? Canada leans toward money and growth. Europe leans toward balance and time. Healthcare and social benefits. Healthcare is often a deal breaker when deciding where to live. In Canada, the healthcare system is famously universal and free at the point of use. You won't go bankrupt from a hospital stay, which is a huge relief compared to the US. However, this system comes with a major downside: long wait times. From getting an appointment with a family doctor to scheduling non-emergency surgeries, delays can be frustrating and even dangerous in some cases. In Europe, healthcare systems vary from country to country, but many are considered more efficient and affordable. Nations like France, Germany, and the Nordic countries consistently rank among the best healthcare providers in the world, with shorter wait times and strong patient care. Even in less wealthy nations, basic healthcare is often subsidized heavily, making it accessible to almost everyone. And healthcare is just the start. Europe's social safety nets are much broader, including generous parental leave, childcare subsidies, affordable education, and strong pensions. Canada also provides some support, but it can feel limited compared to Europe's more comprehensive systems. Healthcare, in the end, is more than just about medicine. It's a reflection of how a society values well-being. In Canada, the system protects you from financial ruin. In Europe, it often goes further, aiming to provide both protection and timely, quality service. Education and opportunities for students. For families and young people, education is a massive deciding factor. In Canada, universities are well-respected globally, especially schools like University of Toronto, McGill, and UBC. The quality of education is strong, but the cost can be a burden. Tuition for domestic students can already be high, and for international students, the fees are among the highest in the world. However, Canada makes up for this, with a clear pathway for graduates to stay, work, and eventually gain permanent residence. That's a big advantage for those looking to build a future there. Europe, meanwhile, is often seen as a student's paradise. Countries like Germany, France, and the Nordic nations offer free or extremely low-cost tuition, even for international students in some cases. The Erasmus program allows easy exchange between universities across Europe, giving students exposure to different cultures and learning styles. On top of that, the shorter duration of many degrees means students can graduate faster and with less debt. The trade-off? Canada might cost more upfront, but provides strong post-graduation opportunities. Europe may be cheaper and more diverse in experience, but staying long-term after studies can be trickier, depending on the country's immigration policies. For students, it's often a choice between investment versus affordability, weather, and environment. Finally, let's talk about something that affects your daily mood more than you might realize: the weather. In Canada, the climate can be both breathtaking and brutal. Winters are long, harsh, and icy in most provinces, lasting from November to March, or even April. Snow shoveling, icy roads, and wind chill that freezes your eyelashes are part of everyday life. Seasonal depression is common, as the long dark months take their toll. That said, Canadian summers are stunning, with lakes, national parks, and endless wilderness, providing some of the best outdoor experiences in the world. Europe, however, offers a wider range of climates. Love the sun? Southern Europe gives you Mediterranean warmth and outdoor living nearly year-round. Prefer something milder? Central Europe has 4 balanced seasons, while Northern Europe offers crisp winters. Without the extremes of Canada, the beauty of Europe is the choice. You can live in a snow-covered alpine village or a sunny Greek island, depending on your taste. Weather might seem like a small factor, but it shapes lifestyle deeply. Canadians often plan life around surviving winter, while many Europeans live outdoors, enjoying plazas, cafes, and festivals all year long. In short, climate isn't just about comfort. It's about happiness. Culture, lifestyle, and travel. When it comes to culture and lifestyle, Canada and Europe could not be more different. In Canada, life revolves around its identity as a multicultural society. Walk through Toronto, Vancouver, or Montreal, and you'll hear dozens of languages. See cultural festivals from around the world, and enjoy cuisines from every corner of the globe. Canadians are known for their politeness and respectfulness, and the country places a strong emphasis on tolerance and inclusivity. Add to that Canada's outdoor lifestyle, hiking in the Rockies, skiing in Whistler, canoeing in Ontario lakes. And it's clear why many people describe Canada as a place where city life and nature are perfectly balanced. Europe, however, offers something unique. Centuries of history and culture. Imagine living in Rome, Paris, or Prague, where world-class art, architecture, and music are woven into everyday life. Europe is also home to some of the richest food cultures in the world, from French pastries to Italian pasta, Spanish tapas to Greek souvlaki. Each country not only has its own traditions, but also fiercely protects them, making Europe a mosaic of identities rather than a melting pot. One of the biggest contrasts is travel. In Europe, it's incredibly easy and affordable to hop between countries. Low-cost airlines, high-speed trains, and open borders mean you could have breakfast in Paris, lunch in Brussels, and dinner in Amsterdam, all in one day. By comparison, Canada's vast distances make domestic travel expensive and time-consuming. Flying from Toronto to Vancouver takes about the same time as flying from London to Istanbul. When it comes to leisure, Europe thrives on festivals, cultural events, and seasonal traditions. Meanwhile, Canada leans more toward outdoor adventures and multicultural celebrations. Both are enriching, but they reflect very different lifestyles. Europe's richness lies in its heritage. Canada's in its diversity and connection with nature. Immigration and integration. If there's one area where Canada truly shines, it's immigration. Canada is one of the world's most immigrant-friendly nations. With its points-based immigration system, diverse population, and supportive policies, Canada has built a reputation as a land of opportunity. Almost a quarter of its population is foreign-born, and multiculturalism is not just a buzzword, it's a national identity. For many immigrants, this makes Canada feel welcoming and inclusive. Europe, however, presents a mixed picture. On one hand, some countries, like Germany, Sweden, and Portugal, have been very open to immigrants, offering paths to residency and citizenship. On the other hand, stricter policies exist in places like Hungary or Italy, where nationalism has fueled skepticism about immigration. Europe's diversity means your experience as an immigrant can vary widely depending on the country. Integration is also a challenge. In Canada, newcomers often find it easier to adapt because English and French dominate, and multicultural acceptance is mainstream. In Europe, immigrants may struggle with language barriers, bureaucracy, and cultural differences. At the same time, Europe offers immigrants something many desire: deep-rooted culture, strong welfare systems, and opportunities to raise families in historically rich environments. The symbolism here is powerful. Canada promises a home away from home for those willing to start fresh. Europe challenges immigrants to adapt to centuries-old societies, but in return, offers belonging to cultures with deep traditions. The real question becomes, where do newcomers truly feel at home? In a place that reinvents itself constantly like Canada, or in a place that preserves identity like Europe? Family life and happiness. Family life and happiness often determine how long people stay in a country. And here the differences are fascinating. Canada is consistently rated one of the safest countries in the world, making it ideal for raising children. It has a strong education system, family-oriented neighborhoods, and an emphasis on children's extracurricular activities. However, the cost of raising kids is very high. Daycare expenses, housing costs, and limited parental leave, compared to Europe, put enormous pressure on families. For many, this creates a paradox. Canada is safe and stable, but family life can feel financially draining. Europe, in contrast, offers some of the best family and childcare policies in the world. Scandinavian nations like Sweden, Norway, and Denmark provide extended parental leave, subsidized childcare, and generous family benefits. Southern Europe emphasizes close-knit family traditions, while Western and Northern Europe focus on balance. giving parents more time to spend with their children. As a result, Europe often ranks higher in global happiness indexes, with Denmark, Finland, and Switzerland regularly topping the charts. The contrast reveals a core question. What does quality of life mean to you? If it's safety, opportunity, and long-term stability, Canada may feel like the winner. But if it's work, life balance, affordable family support, and more time for leisure, Europe has the edge. In the end, happiness comes down to whether you prioritize security or freedom in lifestyle. Challenges and downsides. No matter how appealing Canada or Europe may sound, both come with serious downsides. In Canada, the biggest challenge is the high cost of living. Housing in cities like Toronto and Vancouver is among the most expensive in the world. Food, utilities, and gas prices are also high, compared to many European countries. Harsh winters, especially outside major cities, can also make life isolating. And for immigrants, the job market isn't always easy to navigate. Many skilled professionals face barriers in getting their credentials recognized, meaning doctors, engineers, or lawyers often end up working in lower-paying jobs before breaking into their fields. Europe isn't perfect either. One major issue is bureaucracy, whether it's getting residency papers or dealing with complex tax systems. Life in many European countries comes with a mountain of paperwork. Taxes themselves are also much higher than in Canada, especially in welfare-heavy nations like France or Sweden. Add to this the ongoing political divides, from Brexit to EU tensions, and you'll see that Europe faces challenges of identity and unity. Both regions also face racism and integration struggles. Canada's multicultural image doesn't erase the fact that discrimination still exists in workplaces and housing. In Europe, immigrants may face nationalist backlashes, especially in countries grappling with high immigration flows. The bottom line? There is no perfect place. Canada offers space and opportunity, but at a steep cost. Europe offers culture and balance, but at the price of higher taxes and sometimes slower economies. Each comes with trade-offs, reminding us that every dream destination has its shadows. Canada versus Europe, the big trade OFF. Comparing Canada and Europe isn't just about geography. It's about choosing a way of life. These two destinations represent different visions of what it means to live well. Each offers its own unique rewards and challenges. Canada is a land of space, opportunity, and reinvention. It's a country built on immigration, where newcomers are encouraged to start fresh, build careers, and thrive. The Canadian dream is rooted in progress, in the belief that hard work leads to stability, success, and upward mobility. It's a place where multiculturalism is woven into the national identity, where nature is never far from the city, and where safety and structure are part of everyday life. Europe, by contrast, is steeped in history and tradition. It's a continent of diversity in language, culture, and lifestyle. From the sun-drenched coastlines of southern Europe to the efficient, egalitarian societies of the north, Europe offers a richness that goes beyond material success. Life here often emphasizes balance. Shorter work weeks, longer holidays, and appreciation for food, art, and community. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you live. The trade-off is clear. Canada offers upward mobility, but demands resilience. The cost of living is high, winters are long, and success takes time. Europe offers cultural depth and lifestyle perks, but may come with slower career progression and higher taxes. Canada is about building. Europe is about savoring. And this leads to the deeper truth. The idea of better is entirely personal. If your priority is career, property, and stability, Canada might be the right fit. If you're drawn to immersion, healthcare, and a slower pace, Europe could be your answer. This isn't a contest, it's a reflection of values. Some people thrive in Canada's structure and ambition. Others flourish in Europe's rhythm and richness. The key is knowing what kind of life you want and choosing the place that aligns with it. Both Canada and Europe offer incredible lives, but they ask different things of you. Canada asks for patience, resilience, and drive. Europe asks for openness, adaptability, and appreciation. The real question isn't which place is better. It's which place brings out the best in you. After exploring the realities of life in Canada and Europe, from cost of living and job markets to healthcare, education, and culture, one thing becomes clear. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. Each destination offers a different kind of promise, and each comes with its own set of compromises. Canada is a land of opportunity, ideal for those who want to build something new, who value safety, diversity, and long-term growth. But it's not without its challenges. High housing costs, long winters, and a demanding work culture. Europe is a continent of lifestyle. It offers affordable healthcare and generous family policies, and a cultural richness that's hard to match. Travel is easy, food is celebrated, and balance is prioritized. But Europe also has its hurdles. High taxes, slow bureaucracies, and uneven job markets. Integration can be harder in some countries, and opportunities vary widely depending on where you land. So how do you decide? Start by asking what matters most to you. Is it career advancement, financial security, and reinvention? Canada may be the better fit. Is it cultural depth, community, and a slower pace of life? Europe might be the answer. Also consider your long-term goals. Where do you want to raise a family? What kind of environment helps you feel fulfilled? What kind of support systems do you need to thrive? These aren't just logistical questions. They're emotional ones. Because where you live shapes how you feel, grow, and connect. And perhaps the most important insight is this. Both Canada and Europe prove there's no single path to happiness. People succeed in both places. People struggle in both places. What makes the difference isn't the country. It's the alignment between your values and your environment. So now, it's your turn. If you had to choose between Canada and Europe, which would you pick and why? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your insight could help someone else make a life-changing decision. And if this video helped you think more clearly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Because wherever you go, the most important journey is the one you build for yourself.